Yeah, I can. Morning. I was going to say nice to see you all, but it's not. Yeah, so obviously we broke the mast. You've all seen that. The mast fell down at 7:15 yesterday. It wasn't particularly extreme conditions, but it was windy. We had wind averaging about 30 knots, so saw gusts of 35, dropped down to 26. And we'd been sailing with 2 reefs and R2, which is our medium-sized jib. So we decided to change to the J4. So we had everybody on deck, and we did that change. It was a big change. It was a bare-headed change, and then put the fore up, furl, bare head, get the other one off the bow, and then unfurl the fore. Everything went absolutely perfectly. We practiced that quite a lot. We had just these conditions actually sailing here from Cascais, so we'd done 2 or 3 of those changes on the way here. And then we didn't sort of go hammer down straight away because the guys have got to tidy up the jib on the windward side, and then Justin Ferris puts a flattener sheet on to leeward, so he's actually to leeward of the mast. And then once basically he was clear, we bore off. We were sailing about 55 true wind angle, so sort of fast upwind. And I was steering, and well, we just came off a big wave. It was quite a big. I know it's a big wave when my feet leave the ground. So kind of, yeah, we were falling off the back of a wave, and you always have your sort of heart in your mouth a little bit when that happens. When we landed, the mast just kept going. So fell to leeward. Everybody was clear from to leeward, and unfortunately nobody was standing up on the windward side because obviously the boat then rocks very quickly and violently to windward. So we immediately numbered off, which is our safety drill, to make sure we hadn't lost anybody over the side. And then we set about trying to retrieve whatever we could. Shall I go on? Well, the short answer is no. Obviously, it wouldn't be right for me to jump to conclusions. We weren't really able to look at everything on the way in because everything was wrapped up in the mainsail. The guys are just starting to take it apart now, and we've got some experts flying in, and we're going to spend most of today trying to ascertain what failed first, because obviously you can have failures that are the result of an initial failure, so it's very easy to jump to the wrong conclusion. So we're going to be studying that today, and that's of utmost importance for us because we do have a spare mast. Our spare mast was en route to Holland to be stored with DHL. It was actually on the motorway outside Madrid. That's now been turned around, offloaded. It was with Telefónica's mast. It's been offloaded, and it will be here this evening. So we'll have our spare mast, which is an identical spare, with us this evening. So clearly, if we felt there was something wrong with the mast, which i.e. could happen again, then that would alter our plans moving forward. But right now, we're working on that. We'll spend the rest of today and tomorrow doing that. In the meantime, we're going to work towards getting the new mast ready to go and turning the crew around and getting to Cape Town as soon as we can.
There are two guys right now who I think are very, very interested in what comes out of this. Mike obviously is one with an identical rig as far as I know, and Mike Golding is another with also another one of these new Future Fibers rigs with very technologically advanced and fast, but obviously new. Have you heard from them, and will you be updating those guys?
Yeah, we immediately sent an email to Race Control to notify Sony. In fact, we were trying to get them on the radio because we thought they were going to run into us. We were sitting there, obviously with the no lights because the mast was in the water, and they were coming right at us. They passed by about 50 yards to windward of us. Look, I think, well, there's 2 questions there. Let's take them in turn. First one, how long? I can't actually answer that one either. It's not just the mast. We've wiped out all our stanchions on the port side. We're in the process of putting a list together of exactly what needs to be done and the critical path for that. The mast is stripped, so the mast has got to be fully fitted out. There's a lot of time goes into these masts, just all the lashing work, and I'd be surprised if we could do it within 3 days as a guess. And I think but it's amazing what you can do when you've got a strong will. We've had a lot of offers of help, and we'll get people on it 24 hours a day, and sometimes you'd be amazed what a team of people can achieve in a very short time. So I say 3 days, but hopefully it's 2, and maybe it's 4, but we'll do it as soon as we can. The second half of your question is I don't think masts fall down for a number of reasons. Masts can fall down because of fitting brace that holds the rigging that holds it up. Masts can fall down because rigging that holds the mast up breaks, and occasionally masts fall down because of compression failure in the tube, i.e. the tube's not strong enough for the compression. Now it's pretty unlikely that would happen in the Volvo 70 because the Volvo 70 rule forces you to build quite a heavy mast. So in the last race we had no failures, and so mast failures in Volvo 70s are actually quite rare considering what we put them through. I don't want to second guess what's happened, but generally you look more towards rigging and fittings, which many of the boats in the fleet share the same manufacturers of those.
Just to follow up, was there any consensus? Is there anything that immediately popped into your head that you had thought, well, maybe this could be a failure point? If there's going to be any failure point on this new rig, it'll be here rather than here.
Sorry, the question was there any obvious failure point that we were concerned about? I think the answer is no. I think we had strong concerns about stuff and we wouldn't have used it. I mean, the rigging we used on this mast we've tested for the last year. This is the third generation of it. We used it on our training boat for 6 months in Abu Dhabi. When you're in the ocean, the waves are longer. What these boats don't like doing is jumping off waves in short chop. I think we were about 20 miles offshore, but as we drifted offshore trying to secure everything, the sea state got sort of progressively worse. So, it's always hard to guess the sea state, but for sure the wave we came off was a fair drop, and it was a pretty dark night, so it was pretty hard to see what was coming your way. But there was 5 other boats sailed through there at exactly the same speed. Certainly wasn't conditions that we expected to back off after the Cape. We were expecting bigger conditions. I suspect the guys that are out there are facing bigger conditions and are backing off. We'd fully discussed that. That was always our plan. Let's just get through this, get out, and where the mast went, we still felt we were in perfectly suitable conditions for racing hard.
Hey Ian, just 2 questions from me.
We only had 1 mainsail, and you only allowed 17 sails for the race. So you can't go throwing 2 sails over the side. So we had to retrieve our sails, and all the sails were on locks. So you can imagine the situation. You've got the broken mast in the water with all the sails on locks attached up the mast. So we managed to winch the mast alongside the hull, but we punched the spreader through the side of the hull in the sea state. So the closer we got the mast to us to try and get to it, the more damage we were doing to the boat. So we were kind of in a little bit of a fix as to what to do. So Wade managed to put his survival suit on, life jacket, put a retrieval line on him. He managed to get in, cut the head of the mainsail, and then we got him back on board. So he did a good job. Here we go. Well, it's pretty hard to put into words, We've put so much work into this project, everybody, and you just don't want anyone down. And when you've worked so hard every day for 18 months, you're desperate to do well. We still are desperate to do well. The race isn't lost, and sometimes these things can galvanise a team. We had a bit of this with the Green Dragon last time when we broke the ring frame in the bow, and if I had to point to one thing in the whole race that galvanised our team and got us through what was a difficult race, it was rebuilding our boat in the Philippines and enduring the conditions and getting to China. So, I think you have to look at it objectively. You have to say that we're very fortunate nobody was hurt. We're all still here to tell the tale. We have a spare mast. Our sponsors are hugely supportive, phoned me up straight away, offering all the support, and this race is not over for us. But on a personal level, it's not just personally. I think everybody in the team is just very, very disappointed. Not least because this is the best leg of the race, and I couldn't wait to do the downwind sailing, which I think our boat's more optimised towards and some of our sails. So I was desperate to get into the trade winds because I really felt that's where we were going to excel. But they'll have to wait for another 3 or 4 days, maybe.